this is the most excited I've been about like reading ever in my life. I'm not even joking. Like I was
Oh,
genuinely this is like a weird wholesome moment. This is like
I
this
think I
is
just got
great for me.
chills on my arm.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Read Option presented by Good Time Media. I'm Wyatt, that's Jenna. We have a fun episode today, I think. NFL Week 4. Lot to talk about there. And then we kind of role reversed from last week. So last week we talked about My Sister's Keeper. I watched the movie. You had read the book before. And I'm not going to start with the Vikings being 4-0 because I think the most important personal accomplishment of mine, Jenna, I read a book.
I'm proud of you.
I read a full book in the last 72 hours. Not even all week. In the last 3 days, I
How
read a
many
book.
pages was this book?
I was just about to check. It is
About 300?
no,
Oh.
180, 179. Don't. We're gonna shame here. You want me to laugh every time you don't know a football term?
So Wyatt texted me on, when was this? Thursday night? No, Friday night at 10:30 p.m. and said, I've read so much today.
Fact.
Which just really made me giggle.
I had read, and it's all perspective. I had read more that day than I had the last 5 years of my life.
Yeah, that's pretty astounding.
Some would say awesome. Some would say I'm brave. Some would say I'm a hero.
Oh, God.
Some would,
I
not
knew this
me.
was going to happen. You were going to read one book and you were going to think you're like an author
Not
yourself.
saying that. I'm just personally proud of myself. I read a
I'm
book.
proud of you.
Because now I normally joke like I couldn't tell you the last time I read a book. I can tell you the last time I read a book today. Finished it this morning. I did a crazy. So the book we're talking about, I read Stephen King's The Body, which is turned into the movie Stand By Me, which Jenna watched. So we will talk about all that. I finished it this morning. I also watched the movie this morning because I hadn't seen the movie in a while. So I doubled up again, not to brag, but I kind of did a lot this week. Very proud of myself.
Not to brag, but to brag.
A little bit. Just proud. I'm proud of myself. No ego there. Just I'm proud. A little bit of pride. Before we get into that, we have 2 lists to get to. Jenna, the floor is yours. What top 5 do you have for us?
You know what? I was really struggling with my top 5 this week because I did like the classic, cutest NFL players, cutest coaches, but I needed to change. I needed to change it up. I went with the top 5 football movies.
Oh, okay. This is gonna be interesting. I feel like this is something people are heated.
It is interesting. Keep this in mind, I tried to do some old and some like more like when we were growing up.
Okay.
So they're not all probably the classic ones.
Okay.
That makes sense? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm excited for this list. I could probably rattle mine off later, but I'm interested to see what you got.
I have a number 6 on my list because it's probably the most recent football movie that I've seen, and it was really cute, and it was 80 for Brady. Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's adorable.
I'm telling you right now, Jenna, when I clip this and I open up your list with 80 for Brady, immediately
that's the bottom of the list, and that was
I know.
just like I needed to mention it because it's such a cute little movie.
I'm just warning you, 90% of the audience is going to turn against you right then and there. But anyways,
I can hear the rest of my list.
Please continue.
All right, number 5, I have Little Giants.
Okay, it's a fun one.
Yeah,
I like that movie.
Adorable. Number 4, I went with more of a comedy. Waterboy.
Okay, two very lighthearted movies.
Yes.
Okay.
I would say most of these are.
Okay, the way this list is going, I feel like we're gonna miss some heavy hitters here.
I really did my best.
No, I'm not saying you did. This is your list. Own your list. I'm just warning you.
I feel confident in my list, and also I'm a girl. I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl. I don't watch.
Since when? Okay, sorry. Continue.
I don't watch like that many football movies, so
Okay, that's fine.
Take that into account.
Okay.
Number
Also, I was being mean. I was thinking all sports movies, so I'm less critical of your list
no, these are
already.
just football.
Just football. Got it.
Yeah. Number 3, The Game Plan.
Underrated.
I
Underrated. Great movie.
that was one of my absolute favorite movies growing up. I think I've seen it probably 25 times. It's so good. Madison
It's
Pettis,
Madison
The
Pettis.
Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Number 2, I have the classic The Blind Side because that story is just always touching.
It's a good one. We
And
should
I
do
like
that
that it was
TikTok.
based off of a true story. Although I'm pretty sure there's some drama there, but that's okay.
Yeah, there's a little beef there on
Like the
how.
Tuohys in real life aren't good people or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a sticky
It was
situation.
something
I
like
wouldn't. Yeah, we can avoid that. But good movie.
that. Okay, yes, good movie. And number 1, I have Remember the Titans.
Okay. All right. I was really hoping you were going there because if you left that one off and you had 80 for Brady at 6, we were
Yeah.
gonna have an issue. Um, you are still forgetting
No, I'm not
Rudy.
forgetting. I know. I hadn't seen them.
Hadn't seen. Okay, I'm
And I
assuming you
didn't
haven't
want to
seen
put one
Rudy.
on my list that I haven't seen. We Are Marshall. That was up
We're
there
Marsh.
too.
Yep. Respect those are. Hey, if you haven't seen it, don't put it on your list. I can respect that. Um, Other ones that honestly you should probably just check out if you like comedies. The Longest Yard.
Yeah, that one's with Adam Sandler too, right?
Yep, that's
He's
very
in
similar.
Waterboy.
If you like true stories, I actually think you would genuinely enjoy this movie, Invincible.
Oh, is that the one on Disney Plus that came up too? It's a
Probably
Disney
Mark
movie.
Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg, Vince
Yeah.
Papale. Yeah, that's a great movie. I think you would. I think that's a football movie you would really enjoy. To be honest.
Um, there's also obviously Friday Night Lights, but that's a TV show, so I couldn't do that.
Yeah, there is a movie as well.
With the same characters?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the TV show.
Yeah, which is great TV show. Love that TV
Yes.
show. I wouldn't have argued if you put it on your list.
Maybe that
All
should
right.
have been number 6 instead of 80 for Brady, but that movie's so cute.
Hindsight 2020, I guess. My top 5, it's a
What does
little
that
different.
mean?
Like you never hindsight
No, I know what
2020.
hindsight 2020 is, what it means.
Like
But what?
you could still put it above 80 for Brady
Oh.
now
No, I
because
still
we're
don't want
now.
to.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Let's
All
hear
right.
yours. Yours is top 5 female characters that you would take out on a date.
Yes. And here's why mine is interesting this week. I was going through this list. I was working very hard on this list. I don't have 5. I could not think of 5 characters out, and I'm not just gonna take anyone out on a date. I'm not gonna just like, oh, you're a female. I haven't read a bunch of female characters. I'm sorry. I'm getting
Okay.
better.
Okay.
Sue me.
No, that's fair.
Speaking of,
Like I haven't
also,
seen a lot of football movies.
yeah. And then, funny enough, we are talking about a book/movie today that has almost negative female characters, just all dudes. So, kind of par for the course there. But I have
Yeah,
3.
I actually think there's only one woman in the story, and it's Gordy's mom, isn't it?
Yes,
Like I
and
literally don't.
the lady who runs out of the store when they shoot the gun.
Oh, yep.
That's it. This movie and book failed the Bechdel test.
Yes,
Big time.
for sure.
So, sorry about that to our female viewers. But I do have top 3 book characters that I would want to go on a date with.
Okay.
Number 3, this feels pretty on brand, or I guess I feel like a pretty basic pick. I'm gonna go Hermione Granger.
Okay.
Classic. Everyone loves Hermione. I mean, she's great. Number 2,
It's great.
she's what? She's great.
Yeah,
Hermione's
she is.
great. I haven't read all the Harry Potter books. I've seen most of the movies. She's great. She's nice. Number 2, this is the only one I think is truly out of my league. It's gonna be Daisy, Great Gatsby. We're going back to the Great Gatsby. Nick
Oh, I
Carraway
thought you
was
were gonna go Daisy Jones in the 6.
unfamiliar with her game. But yeah, she might be out of my league as well, most likely. But I'm gonna go with Daisy, Great Gatsby. This just the way Gatsby talks about her. I don't even remember much about her actual character, but he just puts her on such a pedestal. I feel like I would get clout just by going on the date with her. So that could be huge for me. And number 1, this might surprise you. Again, I've seen the movie, haven't read the book. I don't think you've read the book either. It's
Did I
Little
see
Women.
it? Oh,
I'm going with Joe March. Little Women.
I haven't seen the
Joe
movie.
rocks. You haven't seen the movie? Oh, Jenna, add it.
No.
Add it to the list. This is sidebar. We're not talking movies, but I think Little Women. I think the newer version. I haven't seen the older one. The newer
Mhm.
version, Greta Gerwig's Little Women, is
Yeah,
a
I remember when it came
100,
out.
100 out of 100 movie. I think it's a perfect movie.
Wow.
Not like my favorite of all time. I just think
Well,
it is
yeah.
a perfect movie.
Hmm.
So good. But yeah, Joe is smarter than me, better than me in all the ways. So I should take her on a date and try to win her over. Joe's my
Okay.
number one.
All right.
Any thoughts on my list, or are we good to go? Move on.
No, we're good to go.
Okay, sweet. All right. Let's talk about Stand By Me / The Body. Let's just call it Stand By Me because it's easier. That's more recognizable.
But I
I
do feel
want
like The Body is a more fitting name.
agreed.
Okay.
I think so, but I think Stand By
Yeah.
Me is just more recognizable. What are your thoughts on the movie?
Initially, I took detailed notes as well.
Oh yes.
My mom kept telling me to get off my mom watched it with me.
Oh, okay. I want her thoughts as well.
And she kept telling me to get off the phone, and I was like, "No, I'm literally writing notes, Mom. Leave me alone." I initially was turned off by the movie when it said 1986 because I'm not like a classic movie person. I don't watch old movies very often, and I didn't watch very many movies growing up.
Okay.
Okay. I liked the movie though. I think the theme of friendship was very cute. The rotten little boys that all have bigger problems at home.
Mhm.
I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
Sweet. I think that movie for me has arguably the best opening and ending line of any movie ever.
No, you only remember that stuff because you watch movies avidly.
Oh, but it's so iconic
I
when he's
know,
like,
but
I
I
was
don't think
12
like
going on 13 the first time I saw a dead body.
oh,
Classic. And then the end line is gut wrenching. I think about that line where he's like, I wrote it down. So
about
Stephen
Chris?
King, no. Stephen King, you little scoundrel. He hit it in like chapter 4. I better have bookmarked it. Maybe I didn't. Oh, I'm gonna be so mad if I didn't. He's like, thinking back now, I never had as good of friends as the ones I had when I was
Oh,
12. But
and
Jesus is anyone.
yeah,
Oh, that's so beautiful. It's a
it
beautiful
is.
line.
And it
And
makes so much sense too.
right? It's just so innocent and it's so
Mhm.
oh, I have to find it now. It's gonna bother me. I'll cut this out.
Well, that's
It's
exactly what it was. He says it in chapter
yeah.
4 though of the book,
Yeah. And I totally thought it was gonna be the end line of this book. I was
and it
like,
wasn't?
that's too no, it's literally like in the middle.
Hmm.
And I was like, whoa. The fact that the director or the screenplay writer saw that was like, that has to be the end. Genius on their part. Because that line will stick with me till the day I die.
Yeah, that was
There's
impactful.
a lot. I like weirdly was like taking notes and stuff and like bookmarking pages and stuff. I was like, this is incredible. This makes me so like coming of age
Okay,
stories.
maybe this is what's gonna
Get me.
get you into books is the movies for
Jenna,
sure.
this is the most excited I've been about like reading ever in my life. I'm not even joking. Like I was
Oh,
genuinely this is like a weird wholesome moment. This is like
I
this
think I
is
just got
great for me.
chills on my arm.
I had so much fun reading this. I'm not even joking.
Oh, I'm
It was
so
awesome.
glad.
I don't know, just something like I already knew the story and I will say so there's a few differences. That's it. But it's a pretty direct
Really?
adaptation. Everything you see,
Mhm.
I read.
Okay.
So there was nothing added or changed. There was just a few things that were kind of left out. Um, oh, actually, there's one big difference. I don't think is that big of a difference, but at the very end, I guess at this point, spoilers for Stand By Me.
Oh,
If you
for
haven't seen
sure.
it, it came out 40 years ago. Um, at the very end, when I forget their names, Eyeball and Kiefer Sutherland's character, they
Yeah.
show up at the body and they're having like this standoff. In the book, it's Chris who is holding the gun and shoots the
Oh,
gun and backs them off. In the movie, it's Gordy.
yeah.
I kind of like having Gordy do it.
I liked it. It
Um,
was kind of he was kind of like a shy character out of Chris and Teddy. not
Yes.
Vern.
Yeah, Vern's
But it was kind of like him stepping up and being a man, you know?
yeah, which I think in a movie works well. I think in the book, I think in both the book and the movie, Chris is the character of like this is the guy. There's so much to unpack here. I love this guy. Do you know who the actor is?
Yeah, I looked it
River
up right when the
Phoenix.
movie started, and
Oh,
it really made me sad, and then the ending, I was like, "Oh my god, is that
yeah.
foreshadowing?"
Right? Right? Oh,
Yeah.
River Phoenix, may he rest in peace, one of the greatest child actors of all time.
Oh, he
He's
was so young too.
so young. And his brother, Joaquin Phoenix, you know him.
I've heard that.
He's the Joker in the upcoming Joker movie.
Isn't he a different race?
No.
Okay, I'm thinking of a different Joaquin then.
Joaquin Phoenix is
What a
he's the
cool
Joker.
name.
And yeah, great name.
Yeah.
Uh, but you should look into like the whole Phoenix family because they are that event, losing River, is like traumatized Joaquin, of course, naturally. But he's done a lot for I don't know. It's just very you should go down that rabbit hole because it's very interesting to like Joaquin Phoenix is one of the most interesting human beings just alive.
Hmm.
And I would very much encourage you to look more into that. But yeah, River Phoenix is incredible in that movie. So good. So like it was different for me reading the book because I'm already picturing the
The
actors.
characters, yeah.
Um, which I enjoyed just because I already enjoyed the characters.
Right.
Um, the only other things that were different in the book, there's more stories from Gordy. So he talks about how he's a
Oh.
writer, and
Mhm.
like in the book or in the movie, they only have the pie eating, the
Yeah.
puke everywhere story. There's like one other one or two other ones in this, which kind of threw me off because it just throws it in there like a random story in a different font. And I was like, what's
Oh,
happening right here? It's just a story from Gordy. You find out at the end.
okay.
Um, that was good. There's a little more in the movie characterization of the bad guys, Kiefer Sutherland, Eyeball, like their brothers in the older group.
Mhm.
There's a little more backstory with them. In the book, there's one paragraph saying, "Meanwhile, the older guys were driving here," and then
Oh,
they meet up. That was
okay.
it. There was not a lot of backstory there. And other than that, it's just a very, very solid adaptation. Like
Hmm.
direct, which was great. I love this story. This story makes me so happy. It's one of those movies I will rewatch probably once a year for the rest of my life.
Wow.
And it's such a quick watch. It's 90 minutes.
Yeah,
It's
honestly, it's
straightforward.
kind of the perfect length for a movie.
Yes, I agree.
Like, it didn't lose my attention at all. Like, it was a good amount of time, I thought.
Yeah, and it's not like some crazy convoluted plot either.
Yeah, it's
It's
so
just
straightforward. I didn't even
yeah,
realize we were almost at the end when we, like,
right?
got to the end. We paused it at one point, and I was like, "We have 15 minutes left?"
Yeah, happens quick, and it's start to finish. It's well written.
Mhm.
Um, I just love the idea of writing a story about the loss, basically like the loss of innocence. Like you're growing up, you're becoming adult. What that whole conversation with Chris and Gordy when he's like, "Your friends are dragging you down. Like you're going to be better than us, and like you
Yeah.
have to move on from us." And then they do, and it's just so sad when you realize like when that line where they say, "We, like, pass in the hallways," and, like, we
Mhm.
just say hi. Oh,
Mhm.
heartbreaking,
Yeah. I was
brutal.
very surprised about that.
Yeah, like, because you want them to be, like, best pals forever. You
Mhm,
wanna
but
be
I mean,
like
it is realistic.
so I think that's the part that's, like, the worst because like, that's probably how it would have happened,
Yeah.
and Chris was smart enough to understand that and, like, say, "Go on." But I think the idea of building a story around, like, I think the most simple point of like I don't know, losing your innocence, the easiest way to do that is seeing a dead body. Like
Mhm.
that is where life becomes very real for you. And I think that's just building a plot around that, a story around that of kids doing that is
Mhm.
just very simple but very smart.
Agreed.
Anything else from the movie you would like to point out?
I have a lot of notes.
Okay, well, like what's going through your head as you're watching it?
Okay, one thing that kinda bothered me and I didn't think was realistic was the older boys
Yeah,
and how horrible they were. I
yeah,
think
very
that
one
was very
dimensional.
realistic because, like, I don't know. I don't know, it kinda bothered me for some reason. I didn't like seeing the older guys be so terrible to them.
Yeah, not a lot of characterization there. They're just like very one dimensional.
Yeah. I said Teddy has a bad attitude.
Oh yeah, Teddy. I think Teddy gets underutilized in the movie. In the book, you get way more of like what's going on in his head and how he's thinking because his dad. And you see a little more of his dad, who
Yeah,
is a war veteran, comes back with PTSD, and
is
when
an
he like
alcoholic, right?
yeah, so when he burns his ears on
Mhm.
the stove, it's because he thinks Teddy, his son, is like a whatever war he fought in. Like he's fighting against him. And so he's going through PTSD. And this kid loves his dad and
Yeah,
thinks dad's like the
you can tell
greatest,
in the
even though
movie.
he burned himself, which is Teddy's a great character. Love him.
I didn't enjoy him very much, but
Okay.
I said I felt sad for Gordy. His parents don't really care about him, and I wanted more closure on that at the end. I really did. I wanted him to I even wrote dot dot dot, but I bet they will by the end because I thought he was going to get back and they were going to be like, "Where were you?" And like
Yeah.
and that didn't happen.
Yeah. You also, they make one, I guess another difference in the book. The movie makes it seem like Dennis, his older brother, and Gordy were way closer and had a much stronger relationship. In the book, Gordy looks up to Dennis, but Dennis really doesn't give a shit about Gordy.
Oh, interesting.
So like, even through his own
Yeah,
brother, he's
because
trying to
he
be
seems like
him.
the best older brother in the book. Like they
Yeah,
make him seem, yeah.
he is the father figure in
Yeah,
the movie.
yeah.
In the book, he's just someone you idolize as like an older brother.
Okay.
He just overlooks his little brother. So that's another interesting point. But all right, what would you rate the movie?
Um, I give it like a 9 out of 10. I enjoyed it.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm very glad. I very much enjoyed reading this book. There's there's so many like paragraphs and stuff I like bookmarked. I was like, holy shit, reading's crazy. Like the fact that you just like there's like the deepest thoughts of all time just like sprinkled in to like chapter 4 as they're like puking up pies. And I'm
Mhm.
like, you're not allowed to say that. And he even says that. There's a point where he's like, I don't know. He talks about how being an author is weird because it's a weird perspective because he's an author writing about an author
Yes.
analyzing himself being an author, which is trippy enough if you think about it too much. But um, I'm excited. So we'll talk NFL for a second. At the end, we're gonna figure out how we keep this ball rolling, keep
How
me
to help
reading
you keep
because
reading.
we got to strike while the iron's hot. Because
Okay.
if I lose this momentum, we might not get it back. So we got to keep it rolling.
Okay, well,
Um,
also, like, that's what happens when you read.
okay,
Like, everybody's like,
I
I'll
don't like the
go
dude.
a month or 2 without reading often.
Fair,
Yeah.
but let's keep. I think we can
Yeah.
keep the momentum
Okay.
going. Let's talk about the NFL
Okay.
because I I'm less excited than I thought I was going to be after the first quarter today.
Yeah.
I'm still 4-0. I'm still undefeated.
Yes, you are.
But this was by far the least fun Sunday I've had. What were your thoughts on the Vikings Packers game?
That first quarter, so we couldn't watch it,
Okay.
but we listened to it. We got on, like,
That's crazy.
packers.com, and they had, like, radio hosts doing the play-by-play. So we had the Colts game on the TV on mute, and then the Packers game playing off my mom's laptop.
That's crazy. But that's
I know.
dedication right there.
I know. Well, and I even signed up for, like, Paramount Plus and stuff, but it's because the Colts were playing like, the only way I could have watched it if we did the NFL Sunday Ticket, and
Yeah.
we were like,
You
"This
don't need
doesn't
to.
happen enough for us to do that."
Next season you'll buy NFL Sunday ticket.
Maybe.
We'll get there.
Um, First quarter was absolutely brutal, and we almost just turned it off. I think Jordan Love coming back after being out 2 games, I was like, "Time to pull him out."
He looked hurt. He looked hurt at the beginning. He
Okay.
got better as the game went on.
It's probably a little bit of a warm up,
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I thought they were gonna pull him at halftime though, for sure. But
That's where your two quarterback system that you've brainstormed could have
exactly. I
worked.
know, but the guy who played backup for him the past 2 games wasn't
Yeah.
bad, like, they won the past 2 games, so I was like,
So
"Don't be such
quarterback
a bet."
controversy in Green Bay. Is that what you're saying?
I don't think it's controversy because, I mean, he did pull it together,
Yeah,
but I was concerned.
fair enough. This I would tell you is what I usually feel like as a Vikings fan. This is a typical Sunday for me, where it's like all of last year and the last couple of years have been there's like a bar or it's like a timeline. It's like, oh sweet, my favorite team is playing. The Vikings are playing. It's like, I want to die, I want to die, I want to die, I want to die. Oh, cool, we won. That's like the timeline of, and that's exactly what happened today. It was a little longer the first period of like, oh sweet, we're dominating. We're up 28-0 quick. I was sending texts I should not have sent. I was texting my brother. I was like, are we going to the Super Bowl? Are we the best team of all time? Do we need to reconsider some things? Because we might be. We might be the greatest team of all time. Came back to earth pretty quickly. Muffed punt, that hurts. And then turnovers. And then once you have a lead in the NFL, it's so scary because teams are so good and they can come back so fast.
Yeah.
And I was scared. It was relief when we won. It wasn't celebratory. It wasn't hell yeah, we're 4-0. It was thank God we did not lose this game because the narrative can shift in the NFL so fast.
Oh,
If
yeah.
we're 3-1 and just blew a 28-point lead, all of a sudden it's the Vikings are frauds. They were never good in the first place. Now, all week, people are going to be saying Vikings are great, blah, 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 which I'm not even going to buy now because I don't feel great about this game. But we needed it. We need to learn how to win ugly. I'm happy with the win, but I don't feel great about it. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
Did you see your coach get super pissed? Oh,
I
yes,
didn't
you didn't.
see
You didn't.
anything.
I'm gonna send you the clip. I'll find it.
I was proud of them for coming back. I do feel like they kind of have a reputation for being more of like a fourth quarter team.
Which
I
is a good rep. It's better than being a first
mean,
quarter team.
agreed, but it's always so close at the end, and you're like, seriously, could you not have been doing this the entire time?
Yeah,
So I
feel
was
that.
proud of them for coming back as close as they did. It was exciting to watch, to listen to.
So I just sent you the TikTok of your coach. I want to get your live reaction to that
He probably
while I
looked
change.
so hot.
And he's out of his team area, and he's got down there for a timeout. Now we see him calling a timeout after this. But, well, I take that back, guys. If he's doing that prior to years, and he's out of his team area, and he's got down there for a timeout, now we see him.
Oh man, he threw a hissy fit. He looked like a little toddler stomping his feet.
So what do you think?
Oh, I was talking. Could you not hear me?
My headphones were off. No, so I could not hear a
Oh.
single word you just said.
I said,
But they
wow,
could hear.
he really did throw a hissy fit.
Yeah, he was bad.
And
I
he
haven't
looks
seen
like
a
a
coach
little
that fast.
toddler stomping his feet.
So he got a
He does look
15-yard.
very cute, though.
He got a 15-yard penalty for that. Almost costed. They did end up scoring a touchdown on that drive anyway, so it ended up not mattering, but it was close to mattering a lot. So, I mean, maybe watch your guy, like get a hold of your guy. My coach would never. My coach is stoic, cool, calm, and collected. He would never do that. So, I don't know. I don't know if you like that. I don't know if you're like, he's hotter now.
Yeah, he's definitely more attractive.
Was he already number one on your list?
I like his passion, okay? Yes, he was.
Okay, so we can't really move up. Other headlines in the NFL.
Wait,
Bengals.
let me tell you about what I saw.
Okay, yeah, what'd you see?
Okay, so I watched the Colts beat the Steelers, and I would say it's kind of like what you were talking about, how the narrative can switch and how once a team gets on a roll, because the Steelers got like a touchdown and we're just kind of on a roll, and it was dicey there at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad they won.
So Joe Flacco came in.
Yes,
Had to
he
play
did.
for Anthony Richardson because AR got hurt. Joe Flacco, old guy, very good quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
Hall of Fame potential, won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And fun fact about him, he said in the post-game press conference, he is 8 months younger than Anthony Richardson's mom. How insane is that?
Yeah, that's a crazy statistic.
Like your teammate, like you are 8 months younger than their mom,
Mm-hmm.
backup quarterback, and this guy's like starting ahead of me. So
Yeah, that's wild.
Is that all
Downs had a really good game.
he did. Josh Downs had a great game.
Yep.
Anything else? Did you watch any other
Yes.
games?
Texans beat the Jaguars.
Yes, good game for them. They needed that because they lost the Jags. Jags are now 0-4.
Mhm.
Not a place you want to be. I don't have to tell you that. You know that. 0-4, bad.
Correct.
4-0, good.
Good.
0-4, bad.
Learned a little bit.
Yeah. So speaking of
Yeah,
potentially
the Jaguars quarterback is
Trevor Lawrence.
I was gonna say that.
Sorry.
And his wife is pregnant.
Oh, I didn't know that. Do you think
Like,
that's affecting his play?
either very pregnant or has already given birth.
Do you think
Yes.
that is a big reason why they're 0-4? This is
Yes.
good insight. This is something
No, I
people would
don't
want
think
to know.
it's the reason that they're 0-4, but I do think that any normal human male whose wife is very pregnant is going to be a little preoccupied, you know?
Yeah.
Your
Maybe
home situation's gonna be
not
distracting
he's
for
not
sure.
sleeping as well, so maybe he's crankier during practice, not practicing as well, which is translating to bad gameplay.
Yeah, I don't know. No, well, I don't know that. I just think he's
It
probably
could
not
be.
I don't think his headspace is exactly where it normally is.
Okay, I like it. This is analytical. This is good. We're breaking it down. Like why? Why is Trevor Lawrence, who was touted as one of these generational talents,
Mhm.
generational prospects, they're
Yeah.
0-4, and now we're gonna have some serious conversations about Trevor Lawrence moving forward. Is he the guy? That's the conversation you get with every team. Is your guy the guy? There's about 5, I want maybe 10 guys in the league right now. I could probably name a decent amount of them. Josh Allen's a guy.
I was gonna
Pat
say
Mahomes,
that.
Haley Steinfeld's girl or boyfriend's a guy. Pat Mahomes is a guy.
Mhm.
Joe Burrow's a guy.
Mhm.
Like I wouldn't say Sam Darnold's a guy. He's played 4 games for us, so I can't say he's the guy. There's might be 5 guys. Justin Herbert, guy. I'm forgetting some. Lamar Jackson, guy. Trying to think off the top of my head. I'm definitely forgetting people. But like there's some question marks there with Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts, potentially not the guy. He's
He
been the
can be
guy for
my guy though.
he had a bad day today. Bad. Him and Aaron Rodgers, another guy, maybe old guy, maybe too old of a guy, because they both struggled today. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, they lost to the Bucks. They got destroyed. And then the Jets just looked stinky against the
Really?
Broncos. Yeah, it's bad. But we have the Vikings play the Jets and Aaron Rodgers next week in London.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, game is at 9:30. It's gonna be an interesting one. It's a 9:30 kickoff for us.
Sunday night?
Sunday morning,
Oh.
9:30 a.m. Little brunch action. Wake up to some
Wait, that's
football.
so fun. You can do some mimosas.
I probably won't.
Your
That would
mom would
not
eat
be
that
good.
up.
Me drinking during a Vikings game feels like a nightmare.
I would love to
I'm
see
also
that.
sober, so
Okay.
why not doing that? But all right, other things.
Enjoy a nice mimosa while she has to deal with you guys watching it.
Fair. Other things around the league. Bengals get their first win versus the Panthers. What do you remember about the Panthers?
Panthers are really bad.
And what did we talk about last week? They have a new
Quarterback. And he's really old.
yes, and he's a ginger. His name's Andy Dalton. And they
Okay.
benched who? Who's the guy they benched?
The guy that they traded a bunch of picks for in the draft, and they were like, "This is our number one."
Yes.
But I have no idea what his name is.
It's the opposite of old.
New?
Yes, I get you're not wrong.
Young?
Come on, you're almost there. It's the last name. Remember the
Youngblood?
first name? Last
Oh,
name Young.
Young.
One word
Josh Young.
starts with the B.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. There we go. Look at you. You know ball. Bryce
Did you
Young was
say
benched.
6 letters?
I don't think so. It's a
Rewind.
all right, maybe I did. I don't know.
Rewind the tapes.
But yeah, Bryce Young. So Andy Dalton, the old ginger, he actually looked good today. The Bengals just are the better team. I think the Bengals finally played like we expect the Bengals to play. The
Mhm.
Bengals always do this
And
every
that's
year.
Joe Burrows, correct?
Yes, that is Joe Burrow's team. They always start slow. Joe Burrow's usually never healthy to start the year, which is just crazy. And this
Not a
is
great statistic to have.
Yeah, not great. I think this is arguably the worst start they've had in a while. 0-3 is not a great look. So it's still an uphill battle for them, but they finally wrote the ship. How would you say right? They they were able to right the ship. How would I say that? They righted the ship?
RIGHT
Yeah,
or WRITE?
RIGHT. They were able to right the ship.
Yeah.
Have you heard that? You've heard that, right?
No. Right your wrongs?
I just don't know
Right
like
the
how
ship?
to I don't know how to past tense that. Anyways, whatever. You
Okay,
guys get
who
the idea.
cares? What does it mean though?
Like,
They
like the back on track. They were able to right the ship. They're back on track.
Okay.
Now you're making me question
No, I think
this.
you
That
made that
is
up. I think you
right the
combined a
ship
couple
is
things.
a meaning. To correct a process that is not proceeding properly. To right the ship.
Okay.
Yeah, I nailed that. I just don't know the past tense of that.
I wasn't
So
arguing with you.
you were gaslighting a little bit.
I just thought you were wrong.
But yeah, so Bengals, they are back on track. The Panthers, not bad, just not good. Down to 1-3. And then the other thing I want to talk about, have you heard of a young man named Jaden Daniels?
Nope.
He is the Washington Commanders quarterback.
Okay.
He was the number 2 overall pick in this past draft. So in April, he was selected number 2 overall.
Young quarterback.
And Jenna, he might be a star.
Really?
He might be one of those guys we're talking about 4 seasons from now of like up there with the Mahomes, the Josh Allens, the Joe Burrow.
Wow.
It's early. It's basically the last 2 games. I'm probably overreacting, but he has looked fantastic.
Good for
Like
him.
breaking a lot of records. Looking like
Wow.
he runs very well, throws the ball very well. Just overall very accurate, very good quarterback. And
How's his
it's surprising.
footwork? Quick?
Oh, great.
Oh, wow.
Solid pocket
All
presence,
round.
awareness,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Accuracy is
Oh,
good.
incredible. So
Wow.
good. Yeah. No, he looks so keep an eye out. I want you to that's your a little mental note. If you hear the name Jaden Daniels, you'll be like, I know who that is.
Okay.
Because he could be very, very good.
Okay.
So he's on the what team?
The Washington Commanders.
Dang, there we go. All right.
Formerly known as the Washington Redskins.
Yep. Not allowed to say that one anymore.
I'm just sharing the knowledge that I have.
That's good. All right. Any other NFL question stuff you have?
No, but you didn't let me talk about the book I'm reading this week.
Oh, sorry. I forgot you were doing that as well. I just had the movie in mind.
It'll be quick. I just have it's really good, so I wanted and it's
All right.
different, so I just wanted to mention it.
Okay.
Okay, so it's called I Should Talk to Someone by where did it go? Lori Gottlieb.
Okay.
And she worked in television and she cast Friends.
Ooh.
And ER was on the same station at that time, so she like started those shows, so like very, very famous. Like she was in the room when they cast Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
So very cool. She decides that it's not personal enough for her, and she goes through the process of like trying to figure out what she wants to do. She goes back to medical school, and she decides she wants to be a therapist. So it's basically a memoir. This is a true story of like her life. And she goes back and forth between her going to therapy and then talking about her patients as well.
Is she allowed to do that?
She doesn't give like real names or anything.
Gotcha. Interesting.
I'm actually listening to it, and it's the first time I've ever listened to a book.
Okay.
And I'm enjoying it.
How's that? Are you actively doing things as you're listening?
Sometimes. Most of the time. Like
Yeah.
when I'm in the car, when I'm cleaning, if I'm getting ready, I'll play it. And I've been listening to it at night instead of scrolling on TikTok too.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm
like
enjoying it. I will say that I read pretty fast. So it does feel like it's taking a bit longer because you're listening to it at their pace, but I'm enjoying it and I really recommend it. And they're actually making it into a TV show. So pretty cool.
I like that. So this is where I wanted to have a conversation about how we can move forward with this because I have some ideas and I'm open to suggestions from you on how we want to proceed with this show, because I don't think we're going to keep doing the whole. We shouldn't keep doing the movie book thing. We've done
I
that
agree,
2
because then
episodes.
it turns into that being our MO, and I don't
Yeah,
want
I don't want it to be
nobody puts
only
baby in a corner.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. We're redefining genres out here. That's what we're doing.
Yes.
So here's some ideas I had. We could, well, just broadly, do we want to read the same book at the same time, or we could read separate books on our own and then talk about those, come together and talk about that.
What if we do a
Pros.
little bit of both?
So I think there's a happy
It could be a
medium.
little boring if we do the same books every time, but it could
Yeah.
also get a little boring if we do the other. So I think we should do both.
I do think it's good when we are talking about the same source material, because then it's not just I'm reading this, here's one of my thoughts, and you have no argument against it because you are not in
I
that
agree.
world at all. So I feel like that there's a benefit to that, but we
I
also
agree.
want to make sure we are actually interested in the stuff
Correct.
we're reading. So
Correct.
idea that I had is we could this involves the audience a little bit more. We could each put up 2 suggestions for, like, I would read this tomorrow. If this was put in front of me, I would read this. So then we have 4 total suggestions. We put it up for a vote on Instagram. We can figure out how to do this. And then your top suggestion out of your 2 and my top suggestion out of my 2, we then put those head to head in a vote. And then whichever wins that vote, we read together.
Okay.
Like separately. We have to be together reading it. But like we
The
both
only
read.
foreseeable issue is that you're going to have to do it quite a bit ahead of time.
Yes.
To give us
So
each enough time for them to vote on the book, and then for us to get the book and then to read the book. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
It'd be like
I'm not seeing this as a we have to read the book in 1 week type thing.
Right.
Again, I think this is more of like a book club idea where like we can check in on where we're at and go from there. So it can be a couple weeks for a book. I will do this ahead of time, and I have an idea for next week anyway, so that can be our filler while we figure out what the next book we're going to read. But along with that plan is, let's say my book that I suggest wins, then the next book you put up, like just your 2, and then people vote. So then we bounce it off. So like I have a book, you have a book, I have a book, you have a book.
Can we agree that we'll pick books that we think we would both be interested somewhat in? Okay. Like, I'm not going to make you read a smut book.
Yes. And I also think
or maybe I will.
maybe
might
we
enjoy
don't.
it.
But also like I think we can there's a medium there too where we can challenge each other a little bit. Like I can force you to read a book you most typically would not read. Same for me. Like you can put us out of our comfort zone a little bit, but obviously something like
agree.
We think we're so I was trying to come up with a list, and most of these are just from mine because I didn't know the books that that's why I asked.
Oh, is that why you asked for my TBR?
Yeah, I was just trying to get an idea of like where we're at, know we can find a happy medium. But I don't know. What do you think about that?
I don't think you're gonna find. No, I think that's a good idea.
Should we go with that? I had another idea, and I can't think of it off the tip of my tongue. I mean, the other idea is I guess like we both read different books and then switch, but that would be a long process. I don't think that works, because then again I'm saying, I like this book, but I don't want to spoil it because you're about to read it, and then we kind of
the conversation isn't really there for that.
Yeah, I think it's best when we are talking about the same thing, and I think we can fill the gaps where it doesn't have to be we're only talking about this book, like, or if something comes up, or we like have a fun idea for like the movie thing. I don't think we have to retire that.
I agree.
I think that could work, because like a few of the books I want to read are movie adaptations or have been made into movies. Most are, because again, that's my entryway.
You found your niche.
Yeah, and I think that's a good entryway, and then hopefully I can broaden that a little bit. But I'm in the door, like I'm in the building. I'm a little overwhelmed, so I'm like, I don't want to back up. I'm going to stay in the building, so I'm just going to stay in my little corner. It's like when you go to a party, you only know like 2 people, and you kind of like just follow them the whole time. That's what I'm doing right now until I meet the other people.
That's the worst feeling.
It's the worst. Awful.
I'd rather just stay home.
But you're already at the party, so it's might as well. Like they got great food, good drinks. So might as well. All right. So you wanna plan on that?
Yep.
Let's do each pick 2.
When do you want me to have those to you ASAP?
Yeah, I mean, I have a list
I'll
of
look tonight
some
too.
I was gonna go through. Okay. A few of mine again, and we can have a conversation here because if some of these you're more interested in, that will make me more
Hang on,
likely to
let me
pick
get
them.
my iPad.
Okay, because we can pick two out of my list and just go from there. So it's not strictly just my picks. I think we can pick them together. But so, want me to run through mine? What
And
I
we're
have written
not
down?
voting, right?
We're not voting. We're
We're
voting for
talking
two.
about for next week.
No, next week. What did I? Oh, I didn't write this down. I had an idea for next week.
I am lost.
I know I'm all over the place right now. Oh yeah, next week I was just gonna say pick. I know we don't want to continue the movie thing, but it might be easiest just for one more week while we get the book to read. Is there a book that you have read already? Because I have a busy week ahead. I'm not going to be able to read. Is there a book you have read that has been made into a movie that I could watch?
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah. Have you seen, I can't remember if this is a TV show or a movie, The Woman in the Window?
I
Or The Girl on the Train?
I haven't seen
Um,
either of those.
um,
Girl on the
I have
Train is a
one.
2016 movie.
The Girl
You
on the
pick.
Train, yeah.
You want me to do that one?
Yeah. You're pressuring me. Or we could do
Sorry.
like an old John Green, like
That
Paper
works too.
Towns or Turtles All the Way Down.
Sure, I haven't seen either of those.
Okay.
Which pick one?
Wait, have you seen The Fault in Our Stars?
Not fully.
Okay, but that's also like very parallel with My Sister's Keeper, and I don't want to depress you.
Okay, fair. Let's vibe
Okay, can I
change.
think about it?
Yeah, you think about it. I'll put it
Okay.
on
I'll decide
I'll put it
tonight
on the
then.
Good Time Instagram. So everyone, if you're listening, I'll update you guys on the Good Time Instagram.
Okay,
Um,
think about it.
all right. Here are some of the ideas I wrote down of books that I think some of I want to read, some I think we both might want to read.
Okay.
Number one, have you read Perks of Being a Wallflower? You have? I figured you might.
Yeah, that's one of my
It's one of my
favorite movies.
it's a top 5 movie for me of all
Incredible
time.
movie and incredible book.
So I definitely want to read that book at some point.
Okay. I might
But we
have
can
it.
take it off since you've read it. Oh, I might steal that from you.
I don't think I might be at my mom's.
Similar to the one I just read, we've talked about this before. Again, movie adaptation, Shawshank, the Shawshank Redemption one. That would be one you could read in one night, considering your thing. So that might be towards the top of my list.
Okay.
Autobiography, I really want to read. It's very popular. Shoe Dog. It's about Phil Knight, the creator of Nike. I'm very interested in that, but we'll see.
Did you see that movie?
Yes, the Jordan movie.
Yeah, that's what it was, Jordan. Okay.
Yeah. Or what is it called? What was that called? Shoot.
It wasn't like something directly that correlated with Nike.
No, it was.
That was my mom and I loved that movie. It
It's a
was
great
so
movie.
good.
Air. It was called Air.
Yeah.
Yeah. Viola Davis as Jordan's mom in
Yes.
that. Oh, so
That was
good.
such a good one.
So yeah. Phil Knight autobiography. One Day, the one that had that Netflix show. Remember that? Apparently it's a book.
Yeah,
Didn't know
that's gonna
that.
be really depressing.
Yeah, I know. I thought that might be a happy middle between us two.
Okay.
And then, one that I thought would be very interesting because this movie is coming out soon.
Ooh,
I
wait,
think
that's
it'd
fun.
be very interesting, or not, maybe not soon, but it's in production.
Okay.
And I think it would be very fun for me to have read a book before the movie comes out. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've never done that. It's
Yeah.
People We Meet on Vacation.
Yes. Who's the author of that? It's not Emily Henry, is it?
I have no idea. I know Tom Blythe, the guy from Hunger Games.
It is Emily Henry, yeah.
Okay.
I have a
That
couple
would
of her books, but I haven't read that one.
Okay, that would be one I'm very interested in. I might pick that as one of my top 2 because I think it'd be very fun to read a book that hasn't come out yet that is
It's
going
like
to
a
come out.
romance. It's like a love story.
That's fine. I mean, I figured
Okay.
based off like the cast.
Okay.
The one from your list that interested me a little bit was the Before the Coffee Gets Cold. What does that look?
I just have it and I've started it
Okay.
and haven't made it very far, but it might encourage me to
Okay.
pick it back up.
Okay, that's where I'm at. Out of
Okay.
those, the 2 I might pick Or The People We Meet on Vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've read Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Yeah, but that would be fun to revisit as well. I
Yeah,
read
maybe
it
we do that
literally
later
in
on.
like middle school.
I don't want to do the I'll save Shawshank for later because I just read Stephen King.
Okay, well, you're not making the final decision right now anyway. So
You're right. I will put those. I'll put that up on Instagram. But those, if people have other ideas too, leave in the comments. That might influence my decision.
Okay.
All right. You have anything else before we wrap up here?
No, but now I'm excited to find my two.
I'm very excited. So that's gonna be a process moving forward. We'll put up a vote, and the audience can decide exactly which book we read. We'll read it together. Again, my schedule opens up a little bit, so I'll have more time to read like throughout the week, so I don't have to jam pack into my weekend. I think this will be fun. I think this could work.
Mm-hmm.
Ready, break. Good job.
I was gonna say something.
What you got?
I don't remember.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Oh, I was gonna say, and we'll let you know what movie I choose for you to watch of a book I've read.
Yes.
Yeah,
We'll do that as
that's
well. If you watch this far, make sure to like, subscribe, again, comment ideas.
Smash that subscribe button.
All right. Bye.